Okay. Hi, my name's Chris, and I'm still putting on my socks. That's how I'm starting to stream today. Hiya, folks. How are yous? Okay. Well, I've had an intense morning, and finishing off some commissions. So it's yeah, you get going, and you just sort of, when you get a bunch of things that are on your docket and you want to get them all done, it's important that you make sure that you take the time and are diligent enough to do so. The challenge with that is that it's a lot to get done sometimes, and I managed to finish 5 in the last 2 days, so I'm really happy. And with that happiness is the reality that there we go. Is that better? Why am I not hearing myself? Can you hear me? Hopefully you can hear me. If you can't hear me, please let me know in the comments, because I'm just checking to see how the sound is, and I can't hear my own voice. Okay. All right. Well, one way or another, we're going to get going. Okay. So, today's page. I've got a couple things that I wanted to show you. Some books. Some more cool jazz, But, hello, Marsh. Can you hear me? I wrote down in the chat. Can you hear me? And if you can't, let me know, buddy. And I gotta switch my mic around, because sometimes this whole system gets silly, And I had to do some recording for Mr. Jim Lujan, and that may have, excellent. I'm glad. Marsh. Thank you, brother. Thank you. I did some recording for Mr. Jim Lujan, and so in order to do that, I have to switch my snowball microphone over to this other recording avenue. And when I do that, sometimes it doesn't let me use it for irregular streaming. I also switched over to StreamYard yesterday because of our super cool guest, Chris Killoy. And if you get a chance, please check out yesterday's stream. It's really cool to chat with another person about what it is to work where they are, their different processes on how they work, and the idea of how, where you are and the climate that you are and the sensibilities that you have, and yet at the same time you have the same draw to create, and it's not necessarily create geocentrically. What I mean by that is your place where you are affects your work. Geocentricity is the term, and yet at the same time, she created for somebody that she works with a Day of the Dead piece, and so there is a little bit of geocentricity in all of us and what we do, but generally what Chris does isn't geocentrically affected, and she's incredibly broadly talented, and I'm really pleased to call her a friend and to see the work that Chris is making. So fantastic to have Chris as a guest yesterday. Marsh, we got to get you on here sometime. We got to get you on the stream, my friend. And hey, what are you doing tomorrow? There's impromptu-ness, hey? Yeah, you're always welcome. You got to take a look at what Marsh's sensibilities towards art are very similar to my own, and the sort of mindset that Marsh has is one that resonates with me so clearly and so deeply that I love talking about art with Marsh. And thank you, everybody, by the way, for the people that have been picking up the book. I really appreciate it. It's doing really well. Let's switch the old Kamarooski. And yeah, I really, really appreciate people picking up the this bad boy. And the people that are leaving reviews on Amazon, wow, touching my heart. Touching my heart there, and it's very much appreciated. So, I'd love to come on anytime. Only thing is, you stream during my work hours, so let's set up a stream that's not during your work hours. I'm completely cool to roll with that, my friend. Yeah, let me know what works for you, weekend or weeknight, and we'll set it up, my friend. Just super cool. Yeah, so thank you for all the people leaving reviews on the Amazon page, and thank you to all the people that are picking up the book through Amazon. I can't tell you how much I'm still waiting for my copies to arrive, and it's a really strange sense of the only copy of my new book that I put out is the proof that I have, and thank goodness we ordered the proof, because otherwise, what am I talking about? But I'm still waiting for my own ordered copies, and I have to mail some out to in Canada. When we print, we get ISBNs in Canada. I'm not sure how it works in the States and other countries, but when we print books in Canada, we get an ISBN number. It's therefore our responsibility to turn one over to the Federal Book Repository, where they keep a copy of all published books with a Canadian ISBN number. And so and it puts you in the list of published Canadian authors, and then there's also the comic book book repository in Toronto, which is where they try to, the published books book repository in Toronto, which is where they try to gather up as many copies of published materials in Toronto and have it set up in a library setting so that people can come and access them in-house and sit down and take a look and read your stuff. And be able to access you as a Canadian author and illustrator. So yeah, so I got to send those off, and I got to send one to Mr. Jim Shooter for the lovely quote on the back of the book, and I really appreciate that. And we're working out ways. So I'm going to start doing, and I'm just making a list of everybody that's showcasing that they're buying books online, and I'm trying to write down all the names so that we can do some form of appreciation to sort of do some drawings and send them out to folks, because I think it's super keen. Marsh says, I'm really enjoying the book so far as well, and yes, let you know my schedule. Excellent news. If I love having people on and talking about their process and their creativity, and I open that up to everybody. If anybody really wants to give this a go and really wants to come and sit down and chat and talk about stuff like that, and we can, show what they're working on and showcase their approach, that's always welcome. I'm really excited that Marsha and I are going to work something out to get him on board. Marsha had me on his stream some time ago talking about my last book, and super fun, super cool, great bunch of people. Okay, let's get cracking with today. I got some books I want to show you, and in addition to some books, I've got some some new stuff that I'm working on. So here is today's page, Flying an Airplane. Now, this is drawn on a jelly-plated surface, so I'm not sure how big your screen is that you're watching this on, but ideally, because of the fact it's a scanned image, ideally, you should be able to see this as all the granular aspects to the art, because drawing pencil crayon on top of a piece of paper that you've modified, gluing other things down on top of, putting some tape on, whatever other weird things I get up to. When you roll over it with a brayer that's charged with paint that you're using for your jelly plating process on the side, when you roll that over quick and pull it back, oftentimes it'll leave a sort of spackling on the surface. As you don't have a solid bead of paint smeared across, because it's the excess paint from your process that you're doing to the side. So it puts this wonderful granulation on the surface, and when you go over that in colored pencil crayons there, it gives this almost kind of a I don't know how to explain it. It's almost it's almost like spackled, but it's a really granular is the best word for it, and it gives this really lovely, almost translucent effect to it, so that the pigments don't look just opaque for any of the pencil crayon application. It looks more like it has a that rough pencil texture that just really allows itself a moment to shine, and yet at the same time it does it in such a stable way because it's the surface area that's picking up the particles from the pencil crayon and making it, really enhancing the granular aspect of it, so that it does it in such a way as to really just give it its own body and a smooth bead of value throughout it. So it's not like, depending on your pressure, of course, as always with pencils when you're drawing, but it's not like it's more granular in this area and less granular in that. It just tends to generally allow a sort of different vibe for it. I like that. I recommend you try it. You need to roll out paint onto a paper surface with a brayer. That's your first step. And if you're doing jelly plating, and that paper that you take the excess paint off, jelly plating is where you have a sheet of gelatin. You lay a thin coat of acrylic paint down. You place on it high contrast magazine images. You lay them down, give it a little bit of time, smooshing them down, and then you peel it up, and it should leave that contrasted image on the surface of the jelly plate. Let that dry, and then you come back in with another thin veneer of paint, and lay on top of that the sheet of paper or t-shirt or whatever it is you're transferring to. Let it set, peel it off, and all of that surface it was on, all of that material that was on the surface of the jelly plate should be on whatever the secondary object is. But in the interim, when you're coating those layers of acrylic paint down, if you've got too thick of it, you want to roll some of that off. Go over it with your brayer again, pick it back up, roll it off into a secondary surface. That is the brayer off surface. That is what I drew yesterday's page on. Long explanation. Yeah. If there's any books in my collection or any specific artists that people might be interested in seeing, please feel free to type it in the chat, and we'll take a look at if I've got something in the collection of that artist's work. But in the meantime, thank you everybody for the support. Thank you very much for the encouragement, as always, with the one-page stories. If you would like to suggest an idea, suggest a couple of sentences, suggest a piece of dialogue, just a couple of random words, deal with that, Chris. However you like, hit me. Well, don't hit me. As I always say, I'm sensitive. But feel free to pass that along, and we'll do what we can to make a one-page story out of it. Today is page 151 of the year so far, and feeling good, feeling groovy. So, so we're just going to keep on, in the words of Stephen Wright, keep on trucking. So, okay. Now listen, I've got a whole bunch of different surfaces that I've got to work with. I can do things two ways today. I can take some of these, now I've shown these before, some of these random digital images that I've scanned from just drawings kicking around in the studio, and try to figure out what to do with some of this jazz. Or, I've got this, hold on, anyways, I've got this big old stack of different papers in the 11 by 17 format. And so I will be doing today's page on one of these crazy cats. Look at this texture that you see on this piece of paper is paper towel that has paint on it. And I just laid it on top of here and smoothed it off and made the paint go on here instead. Woohoo! All right. Couple things I want to show you. I want to chat about, and that is there's a book that I've shown before, and I was looking at this. Now this thing is massive, right? I bought this years ago at the store. I was so excited when it came in, and I remember showing somebody else that worked at the store and said, "Look, I love this. I'm really excited to pick this up today." And they're like, "Yeah, all right." It's kind of big, you know. The case that's on this book is just crazy, and this person has continued to produce the types of drawings that are in here on a regular basis ever since. Look at the thickness of it. You got to get down with the thickness of this book. So, okay, I'm going to show you some books, but for those diligent folks that are still peeking around, here's a little piece of news. A year ago, I drew a series called A Village Haunted, and it's a ghost story, and that's what this is a page from, is A Village Haunted. And I'm finishing it off right now. I'm assembling it right now, and we will be releasing it as well on Amazon. I am just getting my act together and putting books online. That's what I'm doing at this point. So this is one of the original pages from it, and it's all drawn in blue pencil with red pencil enhancements around the edge. I've shown you how I do that sometimes, just in order to separate the planes in the drawings for myself. Give a little embossed line exterior. Anyways, I'm putting this out in the same way as I put out this bad boy. So that'll be coming out as well this year. And the next one-page story, Extravaganza. So this is Eric Canetti, and let's see hold on, get his name in there. We'll get it there. Eric Canetti. And so Eric Canetti does all kinds of commissions for folks at conventions where he draws and this goes back to 2005-06, as you just saw. He draws illustrations by request and commissions by request for folks. And so I really enjoy his work. But one of the things that I really enjoy, and something I'm trying to infuse a little more on my own, is the kinetic aspect that he has in his work. For those that might not be aware, that's the Wonder Twins from Saturday morning cartoons in the 1970s, 80s, 70s, 60s. Super Friends. I watched it when I was younger, but the Super Friends had Jan and Jada, the Wonder Twins, and she could turn into animals and he could turn into forms of water. Remember, they bump fist bump powers. So, and they had a monkey named Gleep that traveled along with them, but Gleep's not in this illustration. But look at the flow and the energy in this image. Now, this is straight up under the camera here, so the angle and the dynamism that you see there, that's in the illustration. You've got a real handle here on pen and ink work. This is him doing a page of Frankenstein. I think it's in reference to Barry Windsor Smith's work, because it has that similar vibe to it, but very much a Canetti style of art. And if I'm saying his name wrong, I'm sorry. Angels, that's, I think, I'm not sure the name of this character, but it's a warrior nun type book. Here's some of these Star Wars fellers there, and run around with their laser sticks. Just good fun. But here's another one really showcasing that dynamic energy that you can put in your drawings. And so I've been scribbling and doodling lately, and I've shown folks some of the red drawings that I've been doing in my sketchbook. And I'm just trying to really capture a hold of the essence of a character in one illustration. Now, not in this lovely finished format that Canetti's doing, but a really rough, sketchy thing. But I was just thinking about this morning, and how much I really enjoyed how he would go about doing stuff. There's some them Green Lantern dudes. Here's that kid with the funky eyes again. You get the idea of the glow off of the eyes because of the way he's inked it. And there's an energy that's put into that. And for no reason at all, this angle, this foreshortening, the kicking out of the leg here at the bottom. Let me move this up. The kicking out of that leg, right? That extended form, that enhanced leg to show you that this is closer to you and bigger. There's all kinds of little things that are going on in here. So if you're able to look at this Silver Surfer, it might be the coolest Silver Surfer ever. But if you're able to check out Eric, Canete, check out his work. Look, he's on Instagram, he's on whatever else. I like his art. He has a show, he does a talk show with some other guys. I haven't watched it, unfortunately. There's just too many things to when you're really busy to watch. But yeah, he's got he talks about comics with a couple of other really talented creators. I'd like to watch their show, but just got to figure out sitting down and doing it. Anyways, look at that dynamism in the Silver Surfer. You really get the energy of the character, the speed, and the alien aspect of them in a way that you don't see often enough. There's a rather amphibian-looking Aquaman. Love it. Look at the bubbles coming off of him, the breathing, and the staff. Staff looks like it's almost made out of coral, or some sort of underwater matter, as opposed to this, perfectly formed gold three-pointed spike that you see. Marsh says amazing stuff. Yeah, isn't it fantastic? Here's Harry Potter. That's a fun one. When you do your interpretation of licensed materials, you don't have to draw them to look like the kids in the movies. You don't have to adhere to the visual language that's somebody else's interpreted from its principal medium. And in the case of books like Harry Potter, read the description of the kids and try to draw those. Don't think about the kids in the movies, and see what you come up with, because it's just a wonderful wide world of adventure that you can come up with those illustrations that aren't necessarily rooted in having to look like the actors. Like this Ron Weasley character, I far like him more so than the actor Rupert something or other. He's a great actor, good looking kid, but just something about that one. Gen 13, really kind of cartoony and manga, but it's for young people, so I guess so. Pirates, gotta love pirates. Pirates, we got pirates. There's the Punisher. He's very much for the punishment of others. Not sure who this character is, but she's got a shuta, and that's problematic. However, look at this. Bing, bong, bang, boom. That is an incredible Alice in Wonderland. You got the Hatter, you got the bunny, the rabbit. There's the Cheshire Cat. There's the caterpillar. Oh, it's so good. And this guy, what's Dave, something like that. Anyhow, this book is this thick, and we have got through that tiny little amount. So it's just a treasure trove of materials in here, and I just, somebody's developed a consistent style, and away they go. There you go for you 1980s obsessed people. There's your yeah yo. Yeah, yo. Anyways, so Shazam. Anyways, there's so much good stuff in this. But check it out if you get a chance. Take it like there's a really intense X-Men. But if you get a chance, look into artists like this. Look into people like Eric Canete. He's worked on a number of different things, a number of different animated films, a number of different books over the course of his career. he's just very, 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 very talented, and you know, it just sort of really gets me. It just really gets me. I got a couple other things I want to show you, and these are really random. Now, I bought these when they came into the store, and it was kind of a big kind of a pinch when I bought these. Now, this and this I've shown before on the stream. Full-size reproductions to the original page size of art, and I've shown that with a big old EC book I have, and I have another gigantic book of Winsor McKay's work, who did Little Nemo and Slumberland. These aren't full size. Now, there are editions out there that are. Okay? However, you can see my notes here, and I'll get into this in a moment. This is reproductions, scans of the original artwork by Jack Kirby, Jakob Kriegstein, from his Fantastic Four work. And wow, you know, like there's a quality that's in here. Now, stylistically, Jack Kirby is not for everybody. I appreciate and respect that. But at the same time, Jack Kirby created Captain America with Joe Simon. He created the Fantastic Four, the X-Men, the Avengers, the Incredible Hulk. Trying to think who else. He's not. I don't think he's Daredevil. I think that was Marsh Waters. And Ditko did Doctor Strange. Ditko did Spider-Man. Point is, a massive component of that company, Marvel Universe, was created by Jack Kirby in the earliest days. So this is his original art. Now, there's some fun things that are happening. He writes notes, and he writes his own dialogue notes to either get across his intention for the story, dialogue-wise, textual, or the narrative of what he's trying to put across in this panel. And so these notes that he lays down, then what's his name? Lee would take his notes and give them a lot of alliteration and flourish and make up the story with that. There was way too much credit given to Stan Lee. I don't, people want to argue with me about it, bring it. But you can see how all of that, the rough ideas are all laid out right here in pencil. But the work and the dynamic energy we were just talking about with Eric Canetti stuff is phenomenal. It really, really is. So here's something. See how dark this area is here? Okay, and how light that is? The intention is he has smashed a hole in the side of this building to come and give these people a bad day. And so the view that you're seeing outside that window is the city down below. A lot of geometric shapes. It's very Kirby-esque. Anyways, so some of these things, this is called the Kirby dots, of how we would draw energy. All of these, there's a whole, not just the characters, but there's a whole bunch of different things, like these crazy speed lines and action lines, and like here, right? All these things is a lot of this creative language is really Kirby's doing. Like, look at this trippy page. Look at this crazy. Look at this crazy business. It's Kirby-esque, all right. Kirby and Ditko, bing bang boom. That's the seeds in the garden. Which book is that? I need it. So this is the Artisan Edition, Jack Kirby's Fantastic Four. This is how it should be addressed. There's the side of it. IDW and Marvel did publish this together. Okay. And the ISBN is 978-1-68405-836-5. But wait, there's more. So anyways, this is entire issues worth of original art. you know, maybe not the full complete stories, but boy, there's a lot of stuff in here. And then here's a bunch of his cover work. And you can see corrections in here, like the white that's on there. That is to correct some of the different marks that are put down on Dr. Doom's outfit here. Whether it's inking errors or penciling changes, whatever it is, that's what that is. And you can see some of it in here. That might even be a paste up, where they've pasted a drawing of the Human Torch and put it over top of there. But just the energy. So this is that Silver Surfer character I showed you in the Eric Canetti book a few minutes ago. There's the original creator's version of him. So you can just see how the creative license that you can take when you're illustrating other characters. Got to fix that hair, huh? Look at that. There must be some way to save you. No, it is truly hopeless. Anyways, so, and then there's a bit on Jack Kirby himself with a picture of Reed Richards. Okay, now this is David Mazzucchelli doing Daredevil. And so this is a brilliant period in the Daredevil story. Okay, and this, I believe this period is, I'm not sure if it's just Mazzucchelli writing it or if it's Mazzucchelli and Miller, or Miller writing and Mazzucchelli's drawing. Yeah, okay, it is. So Frank Miller wrote it, David Mazzucchelli drew it. Mazzucchelli as an indie artist has some really fantastic work, but there's a bunch of things that I want to show you. They've got Daredevil written down here in Braille, by the way, on the cover. Anyways, there's a couple of really cool things that are in this book that aren't in the Kirby one. For one thing, look at the techniques that are being applied by Mazzucchelli. That is a very dry ink application in black, put down for the smoke, that he's then gone over again in white. A very dry ink application over that, in order to give it this really transparent, translucent aspect, so that as Daredevil is throwing himself through this pile of smoke, you get this feeling that it permeates the air around him, that it sort of engulfs him. And so this is the original art. These are scans of it, and the quality of it, and the different things that he applies. This is why I have all these tabs up above on the top of this book, to show different crazy things he's done. Now, here we go. Here's the cover. The reason this yellow is here is because that was where a paste up was, and what a paste up is where they'll stick the little price tag, issue number thing, and the logo for the book on top of the existing art. And this, in this case, it's dried off and fallen away, and so it leaves this yellow residue. But there's the cover for this issue, and then the second thing they do in this book is this vellum overlay. This is crazy, but this is a vellum overlay that was put on the book in order to diffuse the ink in the background, so that it's now all washed out in a nice clear and crisp and flat gray, and the black of the foreground still maintains its integrity, but now it looks like, with this sight laying over top, it gives this really cool effect. But this is an actual sheet of transparent vellum that they've put in the book. See my hand? So, super cool. Thank you for doing that, guys. So again, you can see the process here where he's taken a dry brush ink of white. I'm sorry, it's... Come on, focus back in. Let's zoom it in. Maybe it's just too intense. It's too intense. So he's inked this in black, and then he's gone over that black with a white dry brush in order to simulate the light moving through the blinds into the room. He sort of informed you that in the first panel by almost showing you the light permeating the darkness through the blinds. But then he continues that motif across the remainder of the panels. It's just a great effect. Hi, Susanna, how you doing? So all of these different effects that he does and his applications therein are impressive. Here's smoke or fire, and what I'm referring to in this one is that on the wrong page? I think I might have put that up. It's just this dry brush technique where he's got some zipatone laid down, and because I knew I was going to show you this, I wanted to actually, for those of you that aren't aware, show you zipatone. That's what this is, and it's a clear vellum sheet with a pattern printed on it, like so that it gradiates the your drawing. You lay this over top, and your drawing still appears through it, but now it's got this gray tone variation on the area that you put this overlay on. We'll use a little bit of that today, folks. Anyhow, so there's all kinds of different things like light through the window. Yeah, these got shifted. That's why it doesn't make any sense. But you can see the different approaches. Again, these marks here are for the printing press. That's what this tape is with these marks on them. They've just managed to hold on, but that's part of the process. Like this note of subprint the blue, it says on the side here. That's little printing notes that you might not necessarily consider. But great black and white technique. Here is that first panel that I showed you at the beginning where he's jumping through the smoke. What a crazy, crazy technique that is. But there's just let's move to some more of my notes. Okay, so here is night or shadow when applied. So here's the lit up streets down below, and a sheet of zipatone overlaid the rest of the drawing with white speckled dots on it in order to, hey, look, it's nighttime. But the light is so bright down in the streets down below that it illuminates the area. But this area is dark and nighttime, and it's snowing. So, great stuff. Okay, here we go with another one of these vellum overlays. So here is the original black and white line art. And let me pop back out for this. Okay, here's the original black and white line art. There's the cover. The paste up is not there for the Daredevil overlay. But here is the art. There's a correction. There's a white out there to correct a line here. And then here goes this vellum overlay for the snow. Isn't that cool? Isn't that really powerful? Look at that. There we are. This is a fight in a snowy alley. That's great. It's great stuff. Here's another one of really fantastic splatter technique applied. So just, another fantastic thing to take a look at and to check out and to see. What do we got here? Oh, pattern clothing. Look down here in the bottom panel. See this? I do flat patterns like this as well. When I'm drawing patterns on people, sometimes I'll just do a flat pattern as opposed to trying to draw all the folds and so on and so forth. There's an abusive husband getting his just desserts. Yeah, just fantastic work. Just powerful stuff. This is another cover with no overlay, but they've used a different color of ink, this red ink, for the flag. Just intense stuff. But the ability, from an inking standpoint, to convey so many things through different ways of applying it. There's a dark zipatone overlay right here for the cast shadow of this water tower on the rooftop. That's nice. the little nice things. There's trees. You gotta love trees. Anyhow, so I just thought I'd show you some of this jazz. And it just goes on and on and on. All these techniques. Is this another overlay? Yeah, there you go. So this one has, here's the Captain America character. There's the inked page from the drawings. But in order to have an embossed sense back in the day, before computers, how do you have it feel like a sort of transparent aspect of the glow of the television screen? Instead, you do it on this vellum overlay sheet, and then print that into the surface in that way. You do it as a separation. Crazy stuff. We've come so far nowadays that everything doesn't have to be so hands-on, you know, with how we traditionally apply things. Yeah, there's a great cover. There's the black and white. There's the color. Look at that. Great stuff. Good stuff. Okay, so, and then there's this roughs. There's this rough pencil work at the back, just in case you didn't have enough stuff to drill over. There's this rough pencil breakdowns. Great stuff. And then there's reproductions of some of the pages that give you a sense of the coloring that was applied. Dave Mazzucchelli. I'll have to show you. I have Asterios Polyp, and one of his independent books. I'll have to pull that out of where I've got it and show you that. Okay, I just want to show you some cool books, and just to see some of the creative process of how some people will draw these different stories. Like you can see, they're really over the top pop art aesthetic of Kirby's work in his Fantastic Four, and then you could see the gritty, realistic approach in the Daredevil piece by David Mazzucchelli. And then Eric Canetti has this sort of fluid, animated kind of an energy for interpreting characters like Daredevil, Silver Surfer, and so forth. There's just so many different ways to come at the same thing. And that's why I kind of wanted to pull some stuff out and show you. Okay, well, I got the book. We better check off the thing I just did before I try to draw it again. What a maniac. What was today's? It was Flying a Plane from What Jen Wren Scraps. Thank you, Jen, for the suggestion. I really appreciate it. Well, we got to find another thing to get crack-a-lackin' on here. Let me just see what I've got. Oh, there's so many fun things that come up. I really appreciate it. I better go back to the earlier parts and try to get back to some of these things. Well, I just did a What Jen Wren Scraps, so I can't do another one. That's not fair to everybody. Miriam, I just did one of Miriam's. Go for an elephant. That's a weird one. You got one from Nick here. That's the one that I started and forgot, and I didn't know what. I just drew the first panel, and I was so busy that weekend. I gotta finish this, the Logan Bird. I gotta figure out where I put that picture. And Doctor Who Goes to Hogwarts. We did that. It movie Killer Clown, and a Trick or Treat Killer Kid movie crossover. All right. Well, let's just slightly change this. I'm going to slightly change this one because, again, I don't want to draw these licensed characters. I like doing my own vibe. So, Killer Clown, adult and child crossover. And that's Michelle S. Awesome. Okay. It's just so I don't have to be stuck in that rooted license thing. All right. So we've got. What I don't have is a pencil. pencil. All right, so I've got some different surfaces to work on here, and I'll show you some of the things I got. So this is a case of where you do a drawing and you're not entirely pleased with it, but you don't want to just waste paper. Use it with some other application. Like I just put this aside, and then these are the sort of sheets that I used for the brayer off or the jelly plating process. And so now this whatever this drawing was, I really don't know. It doesn't matter because you know, now I got a cool thing to work on. I do things like this all the time. I'll show you another piece of Christopher silly business. Is that I'll do random things like this over the course of time, where I'll just draw a cityscape and you know, monkeying around and just figuring out perspective and drawing a cityscape for another project. Or here's another perspective on the same building. You just, you know, I'll do things, and I won't throw it away because maybe I can do something else with it at some point. But you never know. Okay, killer clown adult and a child crossover. Orange might be a good color for that. But oh, so that's an important note. I've got these paper that I'll do all kinds of scribble and color test chain on, and I'll save it. Again, that's something that I'll use, and I'll do something like this on. Okay, well, I'm just going through this big old pile of whatever's going on here. Well, let's just grab an orange sheet and let's get cracking lacking. All right, so I've got this 11 by 17 sheet of paper, and the suggestion for today is killer clown adult and killer clown child crossover. What's this note? Light through blinds. Oh, that was from that other way. I'll throw that away. Okay, so killer clown adult and a killer child crossover. Nice and creepy. Yeah, I don't like clowns. Let's just start with that. I think that there's something within us that when teeth are exposed, this is a simian thing. This is a form of aggression in a male and of submission in simian female. If you want to see a whole bunch of traits that of animal language, take a look at that 1970s Farrah Fawcett poster. There's a whole bunch of different ways that she's behaving there. It's almost like she's a chimpanzee. I know it's a random tidbit of what the heck is Chris talking about today. I just find that sort of stuff interesting. Okay, so we've got ourselves set up. I got the overhead camera on. Killer clown adult and a killer child having a crossover. I'm going to put a couple more sheets underneath there. So this is a Bristol, but it's got a real sort of texture to it, almost like a construction paper that I'm working on today. Now, killer clown adult and child. Killer clown child. Creepy, gross. Yeah. Well, let's do it. All right. What are we doing? All right. Well, why don't I grab a pen? Pens are fun. Pens are cool. I know I got one. I just did that thing where I dump all these tools into one container, and now you can't find anything. So, good job. How you doing, Jeffrey? Welcome aboard. All right, so we've got a clown. Let's just draw our happy clown. So, killer clown, adult, and a child crossover. Now, the thing with clowns is that they're too obvious. they're crossing over into PB&J multiverse. I like that. You get stuck to their nose. Okay, so I think that when you do the clown to look malicious right off the hop, I always think it's too obvious. I did a page. I have a page in the new book where I think it's in this one. It might be a page I was just looking at for the new book. Nope, here it is. Okay, so with this is me talking about, I tend to like psychological horror more so than I like jump scare horror. And, you know, and amongst the horror characters, by the way, that I put here is Griselda, the witch from the hilarious House of Frightenstein. And, woo! Eat your heart out! Yeah, so if you haven't seen Hilarious House of Frightenstein, or if you haven't looked up Griselda's Gourmet, please do. It's absolutely genius. Hilarious House of Frightenstein, made in Hamilton. It was this guy named Billy Van did all these different characters and all these horror monsters. And he played the Count, and he was trying to revive his pal Brucey. And Bruce is a Frankenstein monster on a plinth behind him that he's trying to reanimate. But it's comedy. It's pure comedy, and it's absolutely wacky. But at one point he plays there are all these different characters that live in the castle, and they're all monsters, and the witch that's in the castle is Griselda, and it's Billy Van himself playing the character. But the way he does her is she's basically created so many crazy psychotropic brews that she's cooked her brain, and she all the time as he's making these different concoctions, and he'll grab the witch's hair, look at the camera, and go, "Eat your heart out, boys!" Like just the craziest nonsense. And there's a screen cap for him in there. Anyhow, I like that. So this is my version of It the Clown, and this is sort of falls into. It's just too. You know what I mean? Like, that's not a good clown. So let's try to make a clown that maybe isn't as obvious, as directly obvious as that. Let's try to find a kind of clown that you might actually let get close to you. Because in my mind, those are worse, right? So, okay, a killer clown adult and a child crossover. So I'm going to, first off, I'm not going to start with the first image. I'm going to start with the second one. And I just want to get down to drawing the clown. And I'm going to make our scary, horrible monster clowns approachable. Because I think that the deceptiveness of seeing the clown that one doesn't look so bad. Yeah, I think that would make them actually be far more effective at being worse. So I'm gonna come at this from that mindset. Is that? Do you want me to zoom in? No, we are zoomed in. Okay. So I'm using just a regular old Papermate ballpoint, and I do this thing where I'll either roll it over like this on a piece of paper, or I'll do it on my hand, which is a really bad habit I have. But the reason I do that is if you hold the pen at an angle, it's not just your pressure giving you control over the value as you set it down, but there's just seems to be a nicer way to get grays out of the ballpoint pen. But the problem with that is that the ink, because the ink spills out the bottom and you're only using the side, and it disperses just fully out the bottom of fully out the front of the pen in the same amount. So if you're only using the bottom part of it, then the rest of it dollops up at the top. And so you got to roll it off on another piece of paper, otherwise you're going to get those little black smudges of ink that just drop occasionally. So I'm going to draw a really happy and nerdy and goofy clown for today. This is my objective. And the reason that I'm going to do him like that is that we want to, you know, for people not to realize he's a bad guy. He's a killer clown. He's a killer clown. Yeah. And we'll give him the big, happy, dopey smile. Little pursed lips. Just try to make him look pleasant and approachable for the kiddies. He's a bad dude. Don't trust clowns. Ever. Ever. Susanna said, yes, I like clowns. Don't you trust the clowns? So, again, really soft application on the marks that I'm making in order to get some grace so that we can get some different values in our clown's face. And we'll give him some big rosy cheeks, little. And now I'm not doing a complete circle as I'm putting down these shapes, because you don't always need to do that. You can fill that in with the next aspect of your application. So what I mean by that is, if I come in with either a white pencil or a jelly roll pen, and we'll use a white pencil for this. And yeah, I use a pencil straight to the bitter end. I've got a box of white pencil crayons, and I still do this with them because I am what we call in the old country cheap. So here's what I'm referring to. Well, let me finish putting some shape to the face. Give him a gonky neck there, and then we'll get into this hair in just a moment, and we're going to give him some goofy hair. But let's do this face. So if I come in with this white pencil, yeah, it's appearing, it's coming up. But as I put in the highlights, some of those details that I didn't put in before, like the complete circle of that little red bit of business on the cheek, well, when we put the white on the face and build up the pallor of the skin, well, we're going to fill in the other half of that circle this way. Because that's how we roll, yo. I'm a hip hop. Think about, again, I'm usually trying to get across, think about the dimension of the subject. Don't just think about it as the contour line. Think about it as the shape and the form. And so when you're doing the face, look at your own face and look at how the light hits your face and hits your upper lip. And there's a shadow in here. Whoops. There's a shadow here. There's this little white line in here for this raised area that's catching more light from the overhead source. But think about that sort of jazz as you're drawing your face in and your features, and think about the parts that, when you squinch your face up, right? See the different, it's almost like crevices of dark and light. Yeah, I'm doing great today. Okay, so just gonna. So here's our happy clown. Hello, children. Maybe he doesn't talk at all. I find it scary when clowns don't talk. All right. So it's that more males dislike clowns than females. Isn't that funny? So we're putting in his crazy hair. And we'll give him the honk honk horn, we'll give him that, we'll do all those different aspects. Where did this fly come from? See, look at him trying to take part in the drawing. Oh, I know. I got there's a tiny little hole in my screen. So he would have. I noticed the fly upstairs. It's probably the same guy. Hey, you remember me? I was annoying you upstairs. Yeah. One of the cats reached up and stretched and put a little rip in the screen of the back door. And I'm like, oh, come on. I'm gonna sew it up. Okay, so here is the start of things. So here's our clown. So whatever I do in that first panel is going to introduce the contextual narrative, right? But what we're doing in this image here is introducing our core character. See how some of these little black dots, those are the dollops of ink that I was talking about. But you can get so much more control. And I really like the Papermate pens for that, for drawing in ballpoint. I just do. They're just my favoriteest. I think they're yummy. So we're putting some marks down here and trying to get across the idea of curly hair, right? But as we move up, because this is the part that's going around the I'm going to go around the contour head. This is the part that, if the hair sits like this, okay, the part that's down here is going to be in shadow. The part that's up here that the light's hitting the surface of is going to be more clearly illuminated. So you're going to see less defined detail in that top part because of the more intensity of light. And you'll be able to see some interesting textures on this lower part because it's still bright, still daytime when we're seeing this person, but in this context, anyways. And so, but at the same time, it's dark enough that you can get in some of these fun details. What time are we at? We're at an hour already. My goodness, I'm just blabbing today. Okay, so maybe I'll just get less focused on the detail and let's get the character laid in. Okay, so here's our goofy clown. Now let's give them one of these frills. You know how they'll have frills on their outfits? So putting a little fringe of frill around the neck here. And again, thinking about the form and the rolls of fabric as they move around the neck and over the shoulders. So I got, like I was saying earlier, I'm happy. I've got all these commissions done. Just gonna go deliver some after we, stream today. And I've got a bunch of things being put together right now to put on Amazon. Now that I've figured out how to do this, it's a much easier way to get my work out to people. And people, I like that, I want to see that. Well, so I'm working on 3 right now. I'm finishing this book off. It's a completed book. I just never did anything with it. And then gathering up sketchbooks, images out of my sketchbooks. And then I'm already collating one-page story extravaganza, volume dose. Okay, so here's our not-so-threatening clown. Now, sure, it's a fella or a lady, I'm not sure, don't care. Leave that up to sometimes the ambiguity of a character is, makes people pay a little bit more attention, trying to figure out those answers themselves. Hi, Linda, welcome aboard. Sorry, I don't know how long that's been there. I apologize if I made you wait there. Okay, so drawing our happy honky clown. And honky as in, cast shadow, just to imply that the fringe is sticking out a little bit more so that there's a cast light, or cast shadow, sorry. So I'm trying to figure out from, when I look at thumbnails, I leave them small, I don't blow them up, and it makes me have to think more about any reference materials. I don't know if other people do this, but I find it allows me to have a little more creative freedom in my decision making, but it also forces me to be a little more self-reliant in the marks that I'm putting down, that I'm deciding to put down anyhow. The character development as I'm having to make more actual decisions in creating these characters. So I like that. I prefer working that way myself. I don't know about how everybody else prefers, if people are welcome to tell us if you use reference material, and how do you go about doing it. I know that it's really vitally important for some folks. I completely respect that, and there are other people that have a viewpoint of everything should come completely out of your imagination, and there's validity to that for them as well. And I say for them because it doesn't work for some folks. Everybody's going to find their own niche on how things work in their creative process. We got to appreciate that. Some level, if it's harmful to others, no, forget it. Get out of here. Get out of here. What are you doing? Put that turtle down. It's a very serious drawing. I'm just clowning around. Sorry about that. If anybody wants to tell anyone else about any projects that you're working on, by all means, please feel free to do so. Love to hear what other people are doing. And, I'm more than interested in whatever I can do to help people grow or find their creative voices, that they got this need to sing, they just don't know where the music is. Let's figure out how to find that music. And before you know it, you'll be going, baby, 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 baby. That works for you. Sing you a song. In the words of my immortal godfather, you gotta get up to get down. You feel me? One of my sons keeps using the term, do you feel me? No, there's no feeling here. You keep your hands to yourself. I know it's not what he means. Boob. A rube. So we gotta have the hi kids. That's what I'm building up here, is the arm, and so we can get that little hand there going, hi children, come on over here. I like stories that defy convention, so that when there's a bad guy, you sort of assume, well, this is the direction it's going to go, this is the standard, here's how this type of bad guy operates. Nah, allow yourself to do whatever you want. Don't follow the rules. Don't follow anybody's rules. I learned that from my physician, Dr. Steve Brule. For your health. He's really helpful. Hey, dummy. to following the rules, he said. He was so right. He's a specialist. So here we go. We're just following through the course of our character and drawing. You know, I'm putting these slouched shoulders. Again, something that's sort of continues to insinuate, oh, there's nothing wrong here, don't worry about me. That's soft. There's a softness to the form that would make you feel less threatened by. We might not even decide for this to actually be a killer clown. You could be good at shredding guitar. Did you see me shred that guitar? Killer, bro, killer. Like today, I did a story about what was it called? Oh, there it is, flying airplane. Today's story is about how we really aren't, meant to fly. We've made all these airplanes in order to let us do it, and at the end, we're being given a hard time about it by a flightless bird. So it's mostly about having fun myself there, folks. What is the deeper meaning of the flightless bird, Chris? I want to draw a penguin. Mm-hmm. It's fun. It's a fun character. Susanna says he's cute. He's a cute clown. Killer clown, adult, and child have a crossover. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure where this will go. Maybe they'll start a band. Maybe they'll fight some aliens. They're mankind's protectors against the alien attacking the Earth. You better back up, aliens. We got some clowns here. Be made into a motion action picture starring Arnold Schwarzenegger as Bobo the Clown. Yeah, you guys better get back to Mars. That's the only way that applied to being him as a clown, as a honking of his nose after he says something. Susanna says I'm making booklets in a moment. What kind of booklets are you making? Like small little foldable things, or like a little zine type thing for a zine swap? I did a zine swap through Janet M. Young and Dee Dee last year. That was a lot of fun. Got a lot of really neat zines from people to be able to read. I found 9 page pocket like 9 panel pocket protector or something like that it's called. It's sheets of plastic that have 9 plastic pockets, and you put playing cards in there. So I put the zines from the zine swap in there. They're very neat. That way I've got them nice and safe and cuddly and warm, so I can have them for the future. So I'll move our suggestion down a little bit. Well, maybe a little bit more. So let's put the horn in our clown's hand. I think it's a horn. The picture's kind of small, but for all I know, it could be. Oh, it's a killer clown. Look out! So think about, again, form and volume over lines. The lines can be gorgeous and cute, but if the shape of the language doesn't make any sense, What are you doing? What is... That's a lovely turtle. It's a dog, Mom. You know, that tends to be what tends to happen with those kinds of situations. Look for form. Try to find volume in things. It's only going to help you clearly, you know, draw the characters, the objects that you're trying to put down on paper. Susanna says bigger. Here we call it A5. Don't know what the size is in Canada. I made the covers to dry flowers and other things, and they're cute. Nice. A5. I'm interested in what that might be. I'll look it up. I'll look up what the dimensions of A5 are. That's pretty cool. Bigger though. Almost like a postcard type size. Just building up this hand as we go. We'll have the clown holding the horn. Right? So let's get some fingers here across the palm. Half an A4 sheet. Yeah, again, not A4, A5 paper. I'm gonna look those up. Really interested to see what size that is. So let's put the ball. And then the other missing finger right there. There we go. And the horn. Some little bit of volume to it, a little bit of shape to it. Oh, half an A4 sheet. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be looking up A4 full and then A5 half. Keen as a jelly bean. Alright, well, I made a smudge. I hate them smudges. We'll clean that up though. Alright, so we've got, where are we at? We're at hour 20. Let's just define our clown character. Now, ideally, I don't, it's odd, but I don't want to sort of tell people right off the hop, bad clown, bad clown. Should just assume that. Sometimes you can make different size paper with the application of bonding those together, stitching them, gluing them. I thought about doing it very gothy, and I'm like, no, it's too late. It's way too late for that. Put all the clothes in like dark grays and black. Hi, kids. But it need a melancholy face for gothy clown. This one's a little too upbeat. Okay. Alright, I'm pleased with how it's, you know, sometimes you don't realize as you're doing it if you're spacing things correctly. Start to link them together and realize, okay, I got the spacing right in this color. Give it a little bit of form, a little bit of shape. Okay, so our clown's coming together. I don't know if you find this creepy or not, but maybe we're not entirely going for creepy. We were trying to disarm people with our pleasant, happy clown. You know, that could be... Oh, I think I might have an angle. Rather than just drawing some stereotypical crazy clown chase you down the alleyway, you know, pull you into the sewer, whatever other crazy things have been depicted in film. What if the crossover is looking at this as a domestic story? That the killer adult clown is just doing their best to provide for the child clown. You know, and then one little sentence towards the end is, you know, on Thursday nights is where we go on our rampages. You know, you could apply that to this, but I just like the idea that clowns are people too. They're not, they're clowns. Real clowns, like actual performers, yeah, they respect those. Those are people to respect, but all clowns aren't created equal. So hopefully that's given more volume, more form by coming at it this way. And so the orange base of the paper, we've got the black pen imagery drawn on that. And then we're coming through with the white. And, you know, we're putting the peaks to the valleys. The black would be the... Murph says he's the least unconventional clown at the clown convention. There you go. Hi everybody, isn't this fun? And every other clown trying to go. Don't go to them clown conventions. Those thing guys are crazy. They're crazy, man. I just saw a film in the studio here. I played a film called They Cloned Tyrone. It's so good. Produced by Jamie Foxx. He was brilliant when he does turns at serious pieces, like he did an absolute fantastic performance as the Ray Charles story. But They Cloned Tyrone is clearly a fun comedy vehicle, and it's rooted in conspiracy theory, and it's rooted in you know, the Lower East Side, the gang territory aesthetic, and just wonderfully done. But produced by Jamie Foxx, and he doesn't even play the lead. I love that when a person has such capability to step beyond themselves as the lead actor and allow somebody else to have that opportunity. It stars John Boyega, who was really desperately passed over in the last Star Wars projects that were as film, the Last Jedi and the other ones, you know, whatever they're called. I got one of those taped up right now. You're not gonna be allowed to play that in my house. I'm crazy, you know. I did it as a joke with the kids. Yeah, you can't play that. And I just grabbed some tape and went, see, no, we ain't watching that. And I taped it up, and I put a note on it that says, this at least saves one other person from having to watch this movie. That is, this tape has done its job. Just being silly. Just never got back around to it, because it's not a great film. But I never got back around to watch a film that I'd purchased again, because I've just been busy. I just hadn't, not the initial draw that I want to step to. Okay, so we've got three tones now. We've got the black, we've got the intermediate orange, and then we've got the white. So it's between the three of them and the placement they're in, and letting the three have equal, chance to shine through. Like, we haven't gone over these areas under the neck, the frill line, to let it speak as a shadow isn't just, a drawing isn't just black, white, and gray, unless it's chosen to be that way by the person illustrating it. But that's not really how, light and dark works. And in the intermediate, there is a bit of a range, and sometimes you can imply that range by just using black and white line making. But if you use a paper with any color to it, and you leave these spaces in between that you just don't go over, like this pocket, there's no marks to make the pocket. It's as much an absence of mark making as it is drawing in these three white areas and the singular black little space that's going through that. But the predominant part of that pocket is the orange peeking through and giving that pocket shape and form, and as it's moving with the fabric of the costume. So, yeah, this is the kind of things I try to think about while I'm working. And I'm pressing a little harder as I'm doing the horn, implying that maybe I'm trying to show the solidity or the smoothness of the horn area. Okay, so here's our clown. Just finish these last little bits. And then I have to go and deliver some commissions today. Go pick up one of my prescriptions at the doctor's, or at the hospital, or the pharmacy. There we go. Yeah, well, let's put this other hand in while we're here. We got dressed up. Let's do it. Yesterday I did a musical. Today I'm doing a silly penguin joke. And now I'm doing Happy Clowns. Happy Clowns. So put this hand in here. Waving away. I'll get that last finger furled up a little bit there. A little bit of shape to that too. So yeah, anybody has one-page story ideas that I want to throw at me, challenge me with there, feel free, bring it. A couple of sentences, please. And you can also 3 words or a piece of dialogue. And we'll make a one-page story out of it. And that's what I have fun doing. So tomorrow I'll be back at 2 o'clock. And it's Friday edition. Is it Friday? What day is it? It's Thursday. I don't know what day it is today. That's when you know you got a busy week, is that you lose track of the day when you're working at home. It's Wednesday, so tomorrow's Thursday. I think Friday would be fun. We'll have a guest and hanging out. I don't know what's planned this weekend other than building a comfort swing. A swing to help cope with anxiety and stuff like that for my brother John when he comes and visits us here on a weekend, and gives him a chance to just give himself a moment, reflection there, swinging on a big giant adult size swing, and good fun in the sun. It's also nice because the grandkids are getting bigger. I think Lily looks like she's about 5'6" or 7" right now. She's 13. Where in the world do these tall kids come from? It ain't my fault. I ain't do nothing. But yeah, she's a tall young lady. So she's too big now for the grandkids. We got the old 4-post metal swing set in our backyard, and she's just getting too big for it. But we don't want to break it, so this would be nice for her to be able to swing on that as well. Let's make sure that she doesn't break the big one either, though. John might come by and help me do that a little bit this weekend. We'll see. He's got his tool belt there and everything, so might as well use it. Okay, well, I'm having fun with this clown. I hope that our suggestion today is a killer clown adult and a killer clown child crossover. And rather than, utilizing a movie franchise adult or, it's the one serial guy who dressed up as a clown, we're going to make, we're going to play with this idea a little bit. The suggestion is a killer clown. Killer, here's a beautiful thing about language, is that interpret it. Don't just lean into one idea of a thing. That a killer clown has to be, could be a clown. Man, that's killer, that riff, and here's the clown on the guitar. Or, just, it's all about language and how we use language. With English is that our vernacular can have double meanings. And so, somebody can look at, especially with phrasing, especially with youth, they always they use words in different ways and try to reinterpret language, like optic. The optics on that are really weird. And so it takes liberty with the use of a word and the phrasing that we apply it to. But, we look at something and go, those are killer threads, man. And that's a really great suit. Or it's wicked. Wicked is bad, but, with the use of different colloquialisms and stuff and phrasing in society, we can say, man, that, how's the surf today? Oh, dude, it was wicked. And that's used in a positive. So killer clown, you could say it's a murderous buffoon, or it's a clown who's doing something, he's some kind of impresario. So yeah, play with ideas and play with phrases and stuff, and allow yourself to see other potentials. Linda says, suggestion, based on yesterday's conversation about shoe sizes, Tim wears a 12 narrow. Sometimes it feels like we've been to a parallel universe looking for shoes. All right, well, let me get the book, and I'll put that in there before we any farther with things. That's great, Linda. Let's write it down. Tim wears a size 12 narrow shoe. Sometimes it feels like we've been to parallel universes. This is in reference to something I was saying yesterday. It's only now, in the tender young age that I am today, that it's only in the last 10 years that I have found a place where I actually have selection for my shoe size. I have a majority of my lifetime has been spent wearing whatever size 15 shoes I could find, because I didn't necessarily always, I didn't have the accommodation to, and we didn't have the interweb for the longest part of my life to just find online, or I could do it before that by mail order to get the proper size shoes, but the cost of that was insane. And so I've had orange shoes, just worn whatever generic bad shoes and gone through those fairly quickly. And then some shoes I've spent, more than I should have at the time. But yeah, I completely get it. Size 12 is still a challenging thing to find affordable shoes in selection, that's for sure. Sometimes it feels like we've been to a parallel universe. This is great. I think we have found I think that we have found tomorrow's story, one-page story, looking for shoes. And that is Linda Rand's. Excellent. Yeah, I got it in the book. Ding dong. There you are. Ding dong. That's the book. And so I think that might be tomorrow's one-page story. Just because, the very least, you got to have shoes trying on people, right? Parallel universe, alternate universes. What if people are shoes? You seen the movie Cars? Who built everything? Anyways. We're going to do the comic Shoes. Yeah, we're going to have fun anyways. We'll do something. But let Tim know. Look out. If I had an image of Tim, I'd put Tim in it. Just because I'm that much of a cheeky guy. But yeah, we're gonna have fun. We'll do that. We'll do this suggestion tomorrow. Thank you, Linda, for that. And anybody else that watches the stream here, or any of the posts that I do, or if you're watching this as a video, yeah, you got a crazy idea, hit me. Don't hit me, I'm sensitive. But let me know, and we'll get a crack at that. But yeah, that's a good fun one. I can post a pic of him on IG. Well, you can send. You don't have to necessarily put, that out there on your regular feed. You can send a message or something to me if you want. Susanna says, "Sorry, Chris, I gotta go. Bye all." That's okay, Susanna. We're about to wrap up, but thank you for joining in with us, Susanna. And again, Susanna, if you want to send some crazy ideas or word suggestions or anything like that, you're always welcome to. So please do. Okay, so we got the start of our page here, our Killer Clown Adult and our Killer Clown Child crossover. Well, we're gonna have some fun with this. I'll get this furthered along here, but I've got a couple of the things that buy my shoelaces things to do today, so I better get on those. Thank you very much, everybody, for coming and hanging out. Please feel free to join in, and please feel free to, if you're really enjoying the book, feel free to put a review up on the Amazon and say, hey, this didn't cause me physical discomfort when I read it, or whatever review or you want to put down there. That's probably why I'm not good at doing reviews, because of stupid things coming out of my yapper like that. But thanks very much, everybody, for coming and hanging out. And I will be back tomorrow at 2 p.m. EST. Ideally, we're going to try to figure out if anybody else wants to come and join in with us by Friday. Hi, Marisa. I'm so sorry. Hola. But I'm wrapping up. But 2 p.m. EST tomorrow, we'll be back and having some more fun. If there are any specific mediums or approaches to storytelling that people would like to see me try to use for doing a suggestion, you're welcome to put that forward as well, and we'll give that a crack. Like I do know that there are some people that enjoy when I am drawing a ballpoint. So whatever, pencil crayon, whatever. We've been having some fun with different materials. I tend to always utilize multiple medium, but yeah, always feel free to put that in. Maybe we'll do tomorrow's shoe page with Zipatone. Why not? Let's try that out. In the meantime, thank you very much for coming and joining in, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for the suggestions, and thank you very much for the support for the new book. Yeah, we're going to keep on keeping on. But I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.